We're resuming an open session. We do not have any public comments. We do have a presentation and from the police department. So if you guys would like to come up.
It is. It's open.
Good evening, everyone. So we're here for a very unique and special event to recognize an individual. Her name is Helene Palmerino. She's a Southbridge resident. She's a 31-year tenured employee at BJ's Wholesale Club. And we're very proud of Helene. I'm sure her coworkers are who were seated with her. So Helene, back on August 16th, greatly assisted the Auburn Police Department and BJ's Wholesale Club corporate security in locating two suspects that were involved in a very large-scale criminal enterprise. And with that, before we present her with the citation before the honorable members of the board, I'm going to have Detective Keith Chipman, who is an integral part of the investigation, come up and cover the Reader's Digest version, the facts and circumstances surrounding this particular event.
Good evening, board, town. My name's, for those who don't know me, Detective Keith Chipman from the Auburn Police Department, Detective Bureau. I just thought it was important to recognize this individual who greatly assisted not only our department, but numerous, and when I say numerous, dozens of law enforcement agencies across the region. Strictly, mainly the eastern region of the United States, but as far out as Iowa have reached out to us regarding this investigation. So just to recognize her, I just thought it was important based on our partnerships with other companies in this town, as far as, Macy's, BJ's. We rely wholeheartedly on working together with other employees to get information regarding crimes. And this is just one of those examples where it was a superb effort based on training, communication, and overall work, the partnership with BJ's. And obviously, we have a former officer that works with BJ's now. But tonight we have Megan Parker. She's the director of the asset protection for BJ's. And then obviously in the middle is Helene Palmerino, the employee, outstanding employee. And then Tim Medeiros, who is the regional manager for asset protection. So I want to thank them for coming up here tonight and recognizing their employer as well. And I'm sorry, sir, but I didn't get your name beforehand, but obviously another employee from some BJ's. So without further ado, I'll give you the synopsis of the incident, but on August 16th of this year, two suspects involved in the theft of tens of thousands of dollars just from BJ's stores along the eastern region entered the Auburn BJ's location. Mrs. Palmerino was working the front door entrance, greeting customers and checking receipts of customers exiting, as were her duties. At this time, the suspects entered the store, and Mrs. Palmerino recognized them from an internal memo sent to all employees from BJ's Asset Protection Department. She then notified her manager, who notified loss prevention and confirmed the suspects were the same individuals that they have been attempting to identify in their previous investigations. Loss prevention manager then notified us, the Auburn Police Department, and monitored the suspects while in the store. The male suspect attempted to access a register with keys that they had, and the suspects fled the store upon a manager encountering them. Auburn police then stopped the suspects in the parking lot, and we were able to apprehend them, identify them, and eventually arrest them. After Auburn Police Department detectives sent out a crime bulletin, numerous law enforcement agencies around the country contacted us regarding these suspects. During the investigation, it was determined the suspects were responsible for dozens of thefts and burglaries in numerous states involving losses of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Mrs. Palmerino's actions greatly assisted the Auburn Police Department and other law enforcement agencies in identifying the two suspects from this large-scale criminal enterprise. Without her recognizing the suspects and notifying the proper personnel, it is highly unlikely the police would have encountered these suspects and identified them. And as her job, like, she recognized them as a customer service representative above and beyond her duties. This is something typically you would see as maybe an asset protection manager recognizing them upon entering the stores while they're watching surveillance. So for her actions, it just, without her seeing them, I mean, how many memos, do we get per day in regards to crimes? So for somebody at her level and her intuition to recognize these suspects and notify the proper personnel was just outstanding work by her. And we want to commend her and thank her for that.
So Helene, if you want to come up, we have a citation we'd like to present to you. Before I read what's written on the citation that's both signed by myself and Town Manager Ed Kasanovich, she exemplifies what a strong work ethic is. I've since learned tonight she not only has her 31-year career with BJ's here in Auburn, but she also works for one of our local hotels, and she's an all-around great human being. So that being said, Auburn Police Department Certificate of Recognition and Appreciation presented to Helene Palmerino for her distinguished work performance on August 16th, 2023. Her remarkable sense of recognition and diligent action she displayed on this date greatly assisted the Auburn Police Department and BJ's Wholesale Club corporate security in locating and identifying 2 suspects involved in a large-scale criminal enterprise responsible for the theft of hundreds of thousands of U.S. dollars from numerous stores within the United States. Mrs. Palmerino's exemplary actions reflects great credit upon herself as a citizen and an employee of BJ's Wholesale Club and here in Auburn. The Auburn Police Department greatly appreciates Mrs. Palmerino's actions during this incident, which also assisted numerous other law enforcement agencies across the United States. Signed this date, September 25th, 2023.
Madam Chair, on behalf of Town Administration, the Board of Selectmen, Mrs. Palmerino, we would like to thank you for your courageous efforts and your heroism. That could have been quite a risky undertaking that you took, given the actions of these perpetrators. So thank you for putting your life on the line, and it is much appreciated by myself and the entire board, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have no communications. We're going to move on to Select Board General items. There's an open air license for the Auburn Chamber of Commerce, Scarecrow for Your Business. I don't think there's anybody here. Does anybody have any questions?
So are these scarecrows going to be up all month?
I believe yes.
Okay. And what is the fee? The usual fee?
I don't know that it said what the theme was.
I'd like to, oh, is this resident here for that?
Oh. Hi. Are you here for the Chamber of Commerce? Yes. Oh, would you like to come up? It just came up. Oh, okay. That would be great. Can you just give us your name?
My name is Carrie Cunningham.
Have a seat, Kerry.
board has some questions. Ms. Kavanaugh, did you want to?
Yes, my question is, what is the fee for this?
There is no fee.
Oh, there isn't any.
Yeah, no, there is no fee. This is our third year doing it. It's an annual event. We like it to grow every year. We're actually trying to get some of the town departments involved this year. Have a little contest going.
Yeah, were you asking about the fee for the open-air license?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's no fee to partake in the event, but there is a open-air license fee that in the past has been waived, so.
Okay.
I don't know if you were trying to get clarity on that.
That's what I wanted, yes, I wanted to know that. Thank you.
Through the chair. Ed, do you know what that fee is for an open?
I'm just looking to see if there's an I do not. Carrie, do you know if there was a fee associated with the application?
I know that they waived it for us in the past,
Okay.
but I'm not sure what it is. Okay. Do we pay that to, no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're a
Thank you.
nonprofit, so.
Does anybody
Down
else,
on your scarecrow?
does anybody else have any questions?
No, it's always very nice, and it's very festive seeing it at the library and also in Rotary Park and other places. It sounds like you're looking to expand it.
We're hoping to, everything that, any new venture always takes a few years to really gain interest, like any business. It takes about a 3-year plan, so we're hoping that, we have a lot more interest in it this year. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice, and it does gain a lot of traction on the social pages, and that's actually where our voting is going to take place this year. How many likes that each scarecrow gets, so it's easier for us to keep track of that way.
Madam Chair, through you. If somebody is interested in taking part, where would they go to find out more information about it? Is there a
So,
website?
after this meeting tonight, tomorrow morning, you'll see it on the Auburn Chamber of Commerce on the Facebook page and our LinkedIn page. But it'll be Virginia Murphy at the Worcester Chamber, or you can reach me, you can call me up at Fuller's if you're interested. Yep.
Are there any other questions? All right, we would need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the license provided that all applicable requirements of the state and town and any of its departments, boards, and commissions have been fulfilled. Said license is subject to all the conditions stated upon it that apply with any and all conditions shall invalidate the license and render it null and void, and with the conditions of the DCG to be placed upon it.
Second?
Can I amend the motion or ask Ms. Carpenter to amend that to include the waiving of the fee?
That's separate.
Oh, it's a separate vote?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The chair is a yes as well.
I will make a motion that we waive the fee.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The chair is a yes as well. You are all set with your license and the fee waiver.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the citizen's position for street acceptance. I don't believe, has the planning board made a recommendation on it?
No, they met, it was on their agenda at the last meeting, Madam Chair, and they carried it over to their meeting scheduled for October 2nd, the same night that the board will be meeting. We asked that, I'll work with Adam to see if they can schedule that at the beginning of the meeting, so they can make this board aware of their recommendation prior to your consideration for this item.
Great. Would we like to, I assume we would like to push this to our next meeting as well, to get the planning boards. Great. So next, we're going to move along, and we have a drain layers license. The applicant does not have to be here. Did anybody have any questions on it? We can certainly send questions back to him to get answers. Okay, then we would be looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the license with the standard language.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The chair is yes as well. There are no proclamations or recognitions, there's no gift acceptances. The town warrant. So we got the first draft.
So this is just us sending it to council for review, it's not
Yes.
anything else.
Yep.
I do have a request of the board to move up Article 23, which is the citizen petition, and ask that it be relabeled Article 3. My guess is it's probably going to be continued, but where it's a citizen, I don't think they should have to wait through 22 articles to be heard.
Can't that, through the chair, can't we just do that on the meeting night?
I think it's easier to do it as part of this, just so that it's,
I think correct me through the chair, that on meeting night, it would actually be a vote of town meeting to do that and not a vote of the board. So I would second Mr. Carpenter's motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The chair is a yes as well.
So, Madam Chair, we would be asking the board to take a position on these warrant articles at your next meeting, just to give you a timeline.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a move. Oops, sorry.
To Mrs. Kazanovich, will you be providing an updated budget summary with the, knowing what we're going to be getting from the
Yes,
state?
absolutely, we can do that as well.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we approve the warrant as submitted with the slight modification to the Article 23, swapping it up with Article 3, and subject to final review by town council.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The chair is a yes as well. All right, we're moving on to town manager items.
So, Madam Chair, as it relates to the opera premium pay, the board voted a blanket $300,000. I think at the time we came in with a $290-some-odd thousand liability, but until payroll was processed, we knew the 300 was going to be adequate, but what that final amount was, we were going to report back to the board. The actual amount was $294,355.95, and I'm asking the board to transfer back into the unobligated by way of vote, $5,644.05. So those are surplus funds in the premium pay account. We just want to bring that back so we can use it for another purpose at a later date.
I would make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Can I just ask one question first? Through the chair. Do we have an idea of the approximate amount that's unobligated in that account?
I believe there's 1.9 million left. I know the board just voted out that impact shift money to get us through the end of October, so it may be less than 80,000, but I can give the board I can send you an exact amount sometime this week.
Are you referring to the ARPA funds or the premium pay? Was there a separate fund?
Out of the 5,011,000, there's about 1.9 million left of
ARPA
that.
funds.
ARPA.
Okay, that's, I was just trying to get clarification. So this will go back into the ARPA?
It's still within ARPA, it just
Okay.
has its own identifying line or purpose, so
Okay.
I'm putting it back into unobligated to be considered for a potential other ARPA request.
And with this, the premium pay account goes to zero?
Yes.
So we had a motion and a second. Are there any additional questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The chair is a yes as well. All right, we're moving on to a delegate for the review committee.
And so, Madam Chair, in previous years, we've asked the board to participate in discussions, and I know Mr. Crane has, we've already had that discussion. about potential ways of opening up opportunities that would allow consideration for additional exemptions on real estate property tax. And so I believe we're at the income max, although it's indexed by a rate of CPI or COLA each year. But we're looking for other ways to potentially open that up for other opportunities. Whether it's through work-off program and allowing a higher hourly rate that may entice people to participate in that. It may be offering opportunities for work-off for our veterans, things of that nature. So we want to do a broad overview of all of our exemptions and other ways to offer relief for our taxpayers. That being said, we'd like to do that before the tax classification hearing, so we can bring that information in prior to then, and measure the potential liability that may result of opening this up. So it would probably be one night that we can meet. If we have to carry into a second night because of some unknowns, we can do that, but typically, we get this resolved in one night.
So, Madam Chair, if I can ask a question, I know this issue is near and dear to my heart. I've already had conversations with the assessor and assistant assessor and town administration, but I also know it's near and dear to Mr. Carpenter's heart as well. Him and I have had many conversations about this over the past year. Is it possibly to have two members for
I have no
this?
objection if we want to have two.
Yes, I was going to volunteer, so.
As was I, that's why. We're on the same page once again, Mr. Carpenter.
I'm offended that you didn't think it was near and dear. As I too have had similar conversations, but I will step back and probably view what happens. I'm very interested to see how we can make things more affordable for the residents that are in need. And I think if you two want to step up, I would recommend or make a motion that Mr. Corain and Mr. Carpenter be delegates for this meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The chair is a yes as well. Great. We don't have any table items, we have no member items.
Can I just ask a question?
course,
'Cause
yes,
I know we
please.
have the naming of I know the room is delayed at the library, but we also had well, it's not here now, but the flag, which honestly I never even knew was the flag, so shame on me. Can we just have an update as to where we are on that as a committee? Reach out to the chairs and just see how close we are to some sort of resolution to those, because I know it's out there.
Actually, we just had a visitor during the last meeting when you were vacationing from a former member, board member, and a flag committee member, who we tried to swear in that night, but,
He was sworn in. We escorted him downstairs and he was sworn in.
oh,
So he will be participating remotely with Mr. Consilio and the third member to wrap it up.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yes.
So we now have a committee that can finish up that project.
Just for the minutes, we don't acknowledge Tristan as a former member. He's just one of us. The Navy may have him now, but we want that in full working order.
And then could we also just get, I know Mr. Carpenter mentioned the room naming, could we get an update on that for
Not
another
necessarily
meeting?
for tonight, I'm just saying at the next meeting if we could potentially have that. I didn't intend to put anybody on the spot. And I will watch the meeting, I just haven't had an opportunity to watch. Meaning that I was in a much better place.
Sure, we'll get an update.
Not that this isn't a lovely room, but let me just say, the scenery was.
Slightly offended.
We have in our packets minutes from the last meeting. Are there any corrections or changes? Okay, we will accept them as read. I just need a motion for an adjournment.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.